So even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream.
It all started with the segregated buses. There had been segregation on the buses in Montgomery for years, but the African American community had enough. The Congress of Racial Equality began protests in which blacks rode in the white section of the buses. However, these protests led to many attacks in some places in Alabama and Mississippi, where the buses were set on fire. To show their support, Martin Luther King Jr. led a protest in Alabama, but he was soon arrested for not having a permit for protesting. The 2,500 people that protested behind him were attacked by local police dogs and hosed down with high-pressure water hoses. And after seeing all this commotion, President Kennedy, who was president at the time, announced support for a civil rights bill to stop racial segregation. To show their support to President Kennedy, and to show the political and social challenges African Americans continue to face across the country, a number of civil rights and religious groups organized the March on Washington. More than 200,000 Americans gathered on the steps of their capital to show what they believed in: equality for all. This is where Martin Luther King Jr. gave the speech that would forever put him in our hearts and in our history books.
And Gentiles, Protestants, and Catholics will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
One of the immediate aftermaths of the March on Washington was the Civil Rights Bill of 1964. The law made it illegal to discriminate on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. With the law came the immediate end to the Jim Crow laws. Many people were very happy about the Civil Rights Bill, but there were some that said the bill was unconstitutional. These extreme racists were the same that were at fault for the death of President Kennedy and the death of the beloved Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King's tombstone is engraved with the words that he used to inspire our nation. Free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last. The events of the March on Washington opened many doors for the people of America. The first African American woman in space. The first African American U.S. Open champion. The first African American to win all 4 of golf's majors. The first and the second African American Supreme Court justices. And the first African American President of the United States. This goes to show how the speech of one man and the support of a whole people can go on to change an entire nation and the entire world.